Hi, I'm June Hammond Rowan, and I'm going to share some excerpts from 2 letters written at the Ravine House 135 years ago. These letters were written by Marian Piechowska to her friend Isabella Stone on July 25th and August 2nd in 1882, which was Marian's first summer in Randolph. My dear Miss Stone, now you shall hear about our experiment in Randolph. In the first place, our sea voyage was a great success. We arrived here on the 1st of July in an easterly storm with cataracts of clouds pouring over the big mountains as we drove over the famous Randolph Hill. How pleasant it is to like one's hosts. The Watsons are excellent people, good to one another and liberal to their guests. The house only has 14 rooms to let, all but 2 being on the 2nd floor. My mother and I occupy a large front room facing the mountains. Some persons might complain of a lack of fresh vegetables here, but the table is so excellent in the way of bread, butter, milk, eggs, and the general cooking that it suits us entirely. No ice is used in the establishment for our water, brought in through logs from a most copious spring, has almost the temperature of ice water when set on the table. The meat is gotten day by day. Just across the road from the Ravine House runs the Moose River, whose soft music is our nightly lullaby. Beyond, there is a strip of meadowland and then the bare summits of Madison and Adams. The first crowns the steep forest-clothed ravine of Snyder Brook, and the other crowns the barer wall of King Ravine. Pine Mountain and the Mariah Carter Range finish our view most beautifully. To the west lies distant Cherry Mountain, giving us a fine position for sunset effects. Having told you some of the advantages of the place, I must not omit mentioning that black flies and midges have been very plentiful here until very lately. They not only infest the woods, but troubled us on the porch, so that a smudge was made in the evenings to drive them off. Saturday was a magnificent day, and we decided at breakfast to test the new Madison path. For several years, there's been a good way up Snyder Brook to the upper Salmassus Fall. Leaving the brook, the path climbs out of the ravine onto the mountain and comes out on a rock about a mile from the top. The whole distance is 4 to 4.5 miles. The northern view is very fine. The air was so clear we could see Rangeley Lakes and mountains beyond. Mount Washington and the Great Gulf and Carter Notch were very grand. Monday, we explored for a shortcut up Cold Brook to intersect the ravine path and visited 2 falls on our route. Wednesday, we made a party for Mount Adams. We got started about 8:30 a.m., walked to Lowe's, and toiled slowly up the 4 miles of path, reaching the top about 1:20. We were cool enough on top, but the wind was strong. Madison is an exceedingly sharp peak as seen from Adams, and very picturesque with Star Lake nestling on the col. The huge bulk of Washington, with the winding road up its side, is very imposing. On the way down, about 3/4 of a mile before coming out to Lowe's, we tried a shortcut home. A very direct wood road led us to the old mill on Cold Brook. It was very badly overgrown in some places, but we all agreed it was far preferable to the sunny high road. You often ask of my indoor occupations. The excitement of exploring a new region prevents much from being done indoors. However, on the off days, I reread a canto of Divine Comedy, taken a small dose of German, and read some French. We have just finished a novel illustrative of the persecution of the United Greek Ruthenians by the Russians about 12 years ago, a heart-rending piece of history. Now, to do justice to Russian civilization, I have commenced reading A Life of Mozart, an excellent work by a very enthusiastic Russian. One of our extra distractions this summer is tennis, which my aunt and I are trying to learn. The warm, thick weather has allowed us to rest and given me the opportunity to finish this document begun on Tuesday. Your friend, Marian Piechowska.